All right, ladies and gentlemen of the press, as well as the public, the interested public, today we announced this morning the arrest and apprehension of Jamel Crockham. Jamel is 19 years old, a resident of Lakewood Township. The prosecutor's office yesterday obtained a warrant for the arrest of Jamel in connection with the murder of Lakewood Township Police Officer Christopher Matlos on Friday afternoon. Bail has been set, as I indicated, at the amount of $5 million, cash only, by the Honorable Francis Hodgson, as per the warrant obtained on Saturday. Some of the details. Today at approximately 6:30 this morning, the New Jersey State Police Teams Unit, which is a specialized tactical strike unit, specializing in high-risk entry, joined by representatives of the U.S. Marshals Service, New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force, effectuated an arrest of Jamel Cochran in the city of Camden. The arrest was effectuated without incident. The details of the investigation are as follows. During the course of our investigation, we obtained information suggesting that the defendant, Jamel Cochran, had taken refuge in a home in Camden. The State Police Teams Unit and the U.S. Marshals Services were immediately dispatched by the commanders to the vicinity of the Pressburg Apartments, which is located on 8th Street in Camden. 6:30 this morning, they made entry to a unit there. Mr. Crockman was identified and immediately taken into custody. He has been transported to the police station. He has been processed here. It's my understanding that he's currently en route, if not already at the Ocean County Jail. I should note that this concludes the first phase of a massive law enforcement effort to apprehend the person who was responsible for the violent loss of one of our own police officers here in Lakewood Township. Now, there are obviously many people to thank. And at this point in time, I would like to afford the opportunity of the podium to some of our important people here in Lakewood, close to it. And first and foremost is our Chief of Police, Rob Lawson. Chief Lawson.
I would like to take this opportunity just to thank the tremendous support from not only local, county, state, and federal resources officers. We could not have done this investigation without them. This is not a time of celebration, but it is some small solace to the family of Officer Matlos and his brother officers who have the suspect in custody. At this time, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Menashe Miller, as he would like to say a few words also. Mayor.
On behalf of the governing body of Lakewood Township, I'd like to thank the surrounding town mayors for offering their resources during this trying time. Mayor Bob Walsh of Howell Township, Mayor Mike Reiner of Jackson Township immediately reached out to me personally to offer their resources they have to be able to assist us, enable us during this trying time. I'd also like to thank all the law enforcement agencies that gathered together in Lakewood Township to help us during this trying time. As my fellow committeeman, Mayor Lifkenstein, who's actually the police commissioner this year as well, he mentioned to me this morning, it's a bittersweet time right now. We're thrilled to have removed this cold-blooded murderer off the street. But at the same time, there's a fiancé who's going to be lonely. There's a mother that has to bury her son. And there are countless officers who have lost a fellow comrade. At this point, I'd like to offer condolences to the family and to friends of Chris. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. In the press release that I distributed today to you, we were authorized to include a quote from our Colonel Fuentes of the New Jersey State Police. Here representing him is Major Setnar, who is also intimately involved with the special unit that I referred to. Major?
As prosecutor and the chief said, many agencies came together in order to bring this conclusion or this arrest to a successful conclusion. On behalf of the New Jersey State Police and the Superintendent, our thanks to the Chief and the Prosecutor for everything that we had to do out there. As far as investigative leads that took us to the city of Camden to execute the warrant and bring this arrest to a successful conclusion and let the detectives and prosecutors office continue with this investigation. Thank you.
Now, I would like to acknowledge two people who really led this investigation in an extraordinarily professional, first-class manner, never getting flustered by the sheer enormity of the task before them. And that's Lieutenant Paul Daly of the Lakewood Township Police Department, and also Captain Tom Hayes from my office. If they look a little shabby, it's because I don't think they've gone home in a couple of days. So, and that's been the commitment that they made. In addition to that, I also would like to acknowledge the work that was done by many law enforcement colleagues at both federal, state, and local level. We had assistance from not only the U.S. Marshals Service Fugitive Task Force that I referred to earlier, but the FBI, the Federal ATF, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Attorney General's Office, Division of Criminal Justice. Attorney General Dow has been on the phone with me numerous times throughout this ordeal, and they have been with us every step of the way, and we are very thankful for them reaching out of their own specialized jurisdictions and giving us whatever expertise that they have. I would also like to acknowledge, as the mayor had indicated earlier, the incredible spirit of cooperation that came from our local police departments. First of all, the Ocean County Sheriff's Department and the Ocean County Department of Corrections, our colleagues, basically I call them our colleagues across the street at the courthouse. Police departments from Toms River, Brick, Jackson came into Lakewood and provided patrol and other services so as to allow the Lakewood police officers to deal with their grief. Seaside Heights, South Toms River, Berkeley Township, Manchester Township, Howe Township, and of course the City of Camden Police Departments all provided significant support to this effort. I would also acknowledge the particular help that was rendered by both the Monmouth County as well as the Camden County Prosecutor's Office. And I also would like to acknowledge our own specialized task forces in Monmouth and Ocean County. The Ocean County Regional SWAT Team, as well as the Monmouth County Regional SWAT Team, were activated and participated. The real heroes in this are the citizens who stepped forward with information that led us to be able to construct what we feel is probable cause for the identification and arrest of the perpetrator of this particularly heinous act. This will allow us now to proceed to the next step in a grieving process, a collective grieving process by law enforcement on behalf of the police officer. I too would like to thank the press for their courtesies in respecting the privacy of the police officers as well as the family members of Officer Matlos. And I also would like to thank the press. This is something that you don't always hear from me. I'd like to thank the press for all of their assistance in getting the word out on this. And this was an incredible experience in terms of seeing the process played out. At this point, I would like to make myself available for any questions.
The arrest itself, whether there was any resistance, was this person asleep or what?
Well, it's my understanding that he was awake, that there was, and that the whole incident, consisted with what these specialized forces trained for. It was very quick and immediate, and and it's done that way not only for officer safety but for the safety of the defendant as well. And so,
Any resistance?
Not that I'm aware of. We will still be seeking out information about whether or not there are other parties that are responsible for assisting in connection with this, either after the fact or before. All of those factors have not been fully fleshed out. But as I indicated, it will take its course. and the criminal justice system will take its course at this point in time.
Was the officer acquainted with this suspect? Can you describe that for us?
We have not determined that at this point in time, but, it's in many respects a small town, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was, but, obviously, that information is not available.
The circumstances when he approached him, please.
I'm sorry.
The circumstances when the officer approached the individual.
The officer was on routine patrol, observed an individual there, which is kind of a normal police action by any small-town police officer, had stopped to make some inquiries, was checking him out. When it's our understanding, based upon eyewitness accounts, that the individual stepped back, fired once, and then stepped forward and fired twice again.
The total amount of the reward, and will it play a part in this arrest?
The reward has been collected by the state PBA from various entities. I believe at the last count it's in the area of $145,000, $150,000. He was arrested alone. I don't know whether or not there were any other occupants of the premises. No one else was arrested at that point in time.
Talk about the citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about the mood within the department right now with this arrest?
I'm going to defer that to the chief, since I think he'd be best able to discuss, the state of mind of this man. Anyway.
Certainly, the officers are relieved that the suspect in the murder of Officer Matlos has been apprehended, but like I said, this is not a time of celebration. It's now a time to focus on the grief, and the arrest of the suspect is some small solace to the officers and the family of Officer Matlos. Officer Matlos has been on the Lakewood Police Department for approximately 4.5 years. He's 27 years old. He spent just about his entire career working the midnight shift, which is from 9 p.m. until 7 a.m. in the morning. The officers pick their shifts every year, and it just so happened for 2011, Officer Matlos picked the evening shift, which starts at 2 p.m. until midnight. So he was only on his, I believe, on his second night of working the evening shift.
Can you speak personally how really this has been for you?
It's been devastating for me. The officers of the police department, we're a brotherhood. We're like one big family. What hurts one hurts us all. So speaking for myself and all the other officers on the department, it's been devastating.
At this point, I'm going to conclude the press conference. I believe that we probably have gone to the parameters of what we are ethically permitted to say. I thank the press for your patience in this particularly trying time. Again, to all the law enforcement that is only partially represented here, and to the hundreds that are out there that were pulling on our behalf, from the bottom of our heart, I say that. Bail was set on the warrant by Judge Hodgson at $5 million. What will happen is that under our rules, he's brought before a judge for what's called the first appearance. I think that probably will happen tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow the courts are closed, so it'll happen on Tuesday.
If first appearance is exactly an arraignment, what happens?
At a first appearance, he's advised of what his rights are. He's advised of the charges against him. He's advised of his right to have counsel. If he can't afford counsel, he's advised of his right to have appointed counsel. And at that point in time, and then the judge will indicate whether or not to continue the bail at that level, to change the bail, what conditions to attach to the bail, and then he can either make bail or not make bail, I think from the defendant's point of view, the most important thing is that assignment of counsel occurs at that point.
Will he remain here in Lakewood until that court appearance, and when will that happen?
No, he's been, what's normal in any case where somebody's arrested is that they are generally processed at the local department here and then brought down to the county, so he's probably being processed at this point in time down in the Ocean County Courthouse at the Ocean County Jail. He'll be held in the Ocean County Jail unless, of course, he makes bail, if not, he'll be brought before a judge for a first appearance on Tuesday sometime.
So he's already been transferred to Ocean?
He's already been transferred.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Press conference over.
No,
Thank
it would
you.
happen at the Ocean County Courthouse in Toms River. Thank you.